Welcome to the Too Posh Podcast.
I am Gabrielle. I am a former New York Mafia princess, originally from Austria. I am the mother of 3 and the owner of Too Posh Boutique, and here with my beautiful co-host, Marcella, my daughter.
Hello, I'm Marcella. I'm a dancer, choreographer, model, and designer for Too Posh, and I say whatever the I want.
Hi, my name is Cruz. I am a stylist. I also own the Society Salon in the Design District, and I am a short little Mexican with a big personality.
What will they say next? Welcome to the Too Posh Podcast.
Well, hello, everybody. Today we have probably one of the most exciting episodes we have ever had on the show. We have the wonderful Selwa Mitchell back with her 4 best friends since grade school.
Yes,
correct?
my lifelines. Yes.
And Amy. Amy Bonson. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay, Courtney Hawley. Ashley Riley.
Yes.
And Brittany Huffman.
Hello.
They are all here with Selwa Mitchell. Selwa Mitchell was on our show before, and we have started a new thing with Selwa where we are recording podcasts in chapter form to create a book for her later on. And Selwa is the most amazing, powerful, strong survivor with cystic fibrosis, and we are continuing a series with her, with all the friends, and we'll find out, get to know all the details of what they have, their memories of when they grew up and how they found out cystic fibrosis and how they have helped her through 2 transplants and getting ready for a 3rd.
Yep, they're the reason why I'm still alive.
Wow.
So I will say, too, I got a lot of messages about Selwa from your first one. A lot of people very emotional, very impressed, like can't believe your story. So, and that does not happen. We've done 300 plus episodes, and I got the most messages about you. So
Well,
I
they're
just
probably
wanted
like,
to-
what?
No, I think it's your strength. And honestly,
Yes.
sometimes when I'm having like a bad day, I'm like, oh my God, really? Like,
Aw.
I can't even.
Hey,
You
I'm
know what
all
I mean?
about that. I'm here for that.
That's what we do too.
If I can lift you up, that's give me purpose.
Yeah, so I wanted to tell you that before we
Aw.
started.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I had one question to start the show off, but as you pursue your 3rd transplant,
Yes.
you have gone to Duke and gotten all the tests done. Would you give everyone an update how that went and where we are today?
Yes. Well, it was very exciting, and I felt really good there. My gut felt like that will be the place that saves my life. I met with my surgeon, which was very good looking, by the way. You're just like even
But she
Scott
says that about every
Hold
surgeon
on.
that saves her life.
I know. Is
There
there
is a story.
Amy, is that like a syndrome thing or like? But yeah. Well, even
Let
my
us see a
husband.
picture.
Yeah, even my husband was like, he was so cool. I mean, and if
that's
you think
awesome.
about it, it's like, I mean, I was like, you're gonna save my life, you know. And I was like, and I'm all for it. Like, I trust you, and so we had a really good conversation, and he felt good about it. He was just like, dude, you got to gain some weight or before I put you on the table. But yeah, I've met with so many people, and they were just, it's just so cool how this is just like something they do every day, you know, like cut people open and save their lives. You know?
So when you first met him, like, how did he, like, tell us more details?
Yeah,
I want more
so
details about that.
He like kind of scruffy and like tall and just walked in like he owned the room and just, he's like, and so he was just like, so is it you and another guy? He's like, yeah, I got another guy. Yeah, like I can do, you know, well, we can do this. Like he just acted like it was just something he does every day, which I guess he does. So I felt really good about
Has he
him.
done a 3rd lung transplant
Yes,
before?
he has. He's done 13.
Oh, he is the
Yeah,
one
well,
that
I
has
think
done the
with
13.
alongside.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, I mean, I felt good about him, like, slicing me open. I was like, oh, this could happen. And I basically was like, I promise you, if you say yes to this, I will survive. Like, I will, like, cut me open. I can do this. Like, I know my will can do this. And so I was just wanting him to have confidence in me like I have confidence in him. So.
I can tell you when I edited your shows, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that you can do it too. It's like, it's just a knowledge that is unbelievable, because when you don't know, when someone doesn't know you and you hear that, then you kind of go, oh, that's a really tough one. But with you, I have no doubt at all.
I feel it. Oh, and I just, because, I mean, I do have such an amazing support system. And I do have him like calming me and keeping me all together. Because, I mean, again, like I said before, when I say all this out loud, I'm like, wait, what? Did I just say that? But I mean, it makes sense. That's just how I feel. And I do believe it's my faith keeping me level-headed and calm. And
So what tests did you have to do?
well, like one of them was this like heart catheter thing where they went through my like I don't even know, my thigh or something, and all the way up to check out my heart. And it was funny because they wanted to sedate me, but if they sedated me, I couldn't get on the plane that night. And I was like, I promise you, I will not move. Do not sedate me. Just let me just do this without sedation.
She's hardcore.
I know, they're funny. And I was like, they were just like, well, if you move, this is a problem. Like, I was like, guys, I promise. And so, of course, I'm just sitting there while they're like, feeding this wire to my heart. And I'm like, I told you guys, this is fine. Like, I'm like, I can do this all day long. And so, again, it was just there. So I think I proved to all the people around me that, like, I don't mess around. Like I respect what they do, and they have to respect that I can do this, because I really felt like I had to sell myself. Like, I mean, they don't just give lungs to anyone, and respectfully so. But I am, I'll admit, like I'm ready for some new ones. Like I'm like 28% now since the last time I talked to y'all.
Oh.
So I'm getting a little more winded, and yoga's a little bit more hard, and so
Did they say like the last time you were 30, right? So
Right.
now it's
Well,
28.
Yeah, so when I was there, it was actually 34%.
Oh.
And I was definitely, they were like looking at me kind of like, you're early, but this is good that you're here.
Uh-huh.
And I'm kind of like, I know I'm early, but like, I swear. So like in a month, because I know how this works. Like I can feel myself declining, like, as we speak, it's just, and I am. I mean, I was 34%, I'm 28%, and I feel it every day. I'm okay with that, because I mentally have to tell myself, like, you're breathing, you're still alive, because your breath doesn't give you the satisfaction. So you have to like mentally tell yourself that you're breathing and you're getting air. But yeah, I do think that there's no red flags. They were like, no red flags.
None.
Yeah, like so far so good. Like every test I did, I passed.
Every test
yeah, and
you
then they were
passed?
and like everything, like for even the psychologists, like because the psychologists in this, they're like, do you do drugs? I'm like, no, like I do not.
The ones you prescribe.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and then but even like Xanax, they're like, every once in a while I would have a Xanax because I mean I'm 28%, and they're just like, well, we really want you to not be on that anymore. Because I guess they don't want like a pillhead getting new lungs. And I totally get that. So I'm proving to them that my lifestyle and that I deserve these lungs, so I'm
no
ready.
red flags. And then what did they say? Like last time you told us that it has to be the right time. Like
Yeah.
you can't be like too healthy or
Yeah,
too
it's such a-
stable.
Yeah. It's
so
like,
did they say anything about that?
yeah, I mean, because that's where I am right now. I'm not sick enough for the table,
You're
right?
not sick enough.
So I'm not sick enough, but like I cannot be like how I was last time. You guys all know how that was. And y'all know better than I do how that was, because I was like asleep while y'all did all the hard work.
So maybe, how should we start? How do you want to do this? Do you want
Yeah.
to start from when you first met Selwa, or do you
Oh.
want to?
Well, I was just going to like tag on that for a second. I remember right before her second and right before she really kind of did go into lung failure, there's one post that's always stuck with me. And I'm not going to quote it perfectly, but her writing is amazing.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
but it was something like, cut me open and unleash the beast. And it's so true.
Yeah.
When Selwa gets into beast mode, there's no stopping her.
No.
And like she can turn on beast mode in a moment's notice, and I think that our job is to try to like prep her up to
Yeah.
get into
We're
beast
the hype
mode,
men.
Yeah.
God.
and then she's just there. And I mean, there's no stopping her. And that's why, you saw that and you knew she was going to make it. Like, there's no question. People always ask us, are you worried? No.
No.
I mean, this is going to work. God is here.
None of you.
And we've seen miracle after miracle.
Yeah.
So that helps. I mean, what a beautiful ability for us to be friends and see these miracles to help us have faith in God like we do. You know, that's all because of the faith she has and how she and Scott are just amazing and trusting God.
But I will say that beast mode that beast mode comes from you guys. Like, so it's like a circle, right? Like, I'm strong, but because I have y'all. You know what I mean? So it's like we're in this together. I've never felt alone. And it's kind of like I'm like walking on this like wobbly tightrope and I am like gonna fall any minute, but I don't care because I have all you with like the safety net just waiting, like, okay, we're here, we're ready to catch you. And that's how it's been since, we've been little, like since college, so I'm just, again, the only way I can do this is because of my faith in you guys. And so I know y'all give me so much credit for being a beast because I am, but because of y'all.
So it is really quite rare to have
Yeah, no kidding.
5 friends like this go through life's ups and downs and be this close to be. I mean, that's unbelievable. It's very rare to see.
Well, and I do attribute that to unconditional love. Like they have put up with so much of my crap. I mean, and they love me for me, and I can be me, and y'all accept me for who I am. And I think that's how we've survived. How long have we all been together?
Decades. Let's just call it that.
And in college we had some screaming fights. Like how could you do that? Like calling me out on my crap. And
I think we do it to everyone.
We do
Not
it to
just
all.
to you.
Yeah.
Like
To
I
all
think
of us.
that's.
I mean, that's the thing. It's not one way. Like, I mean, we
It's
get,
not one
I mean,
way.
Selwa gives us so much joy
right.
and guidance and love. And I mean,
Perspective.
obviously her inspiration is amazing, but like, I mean, outside of even all of this, she's just an amazing friend,
Right.
so, it's balanced. And I think that's right. It's unconditional love, but we also don't take advantage of each other. And there's a fine line in friendships.
Yeah.
That's still remarkable,
Yeah,
actually.
I think so too.
Um,
I would like to know how it all started.
I know, me too.
If we all went to the same school, like I need to know how it all happened.
I think we all have a little bit of a different story with that. I
Why don't
guess
you
I don't
go
know
one
if it's
at a
best if you
time?
want us to
Yeah.
go one
Yeah.
at a time. I mean, so Selwa and I met the first time when we were 3 years old. So we were in dance together
Oh, my
at 3 years
goodness.
old.
Yeah.
And Amy
Yes.
was right along with us. And so we danced our whole lives together. We ended up going to the same middle school, and then the same high school, and then the same college, and then the same weddings, and then having children the same years. And so it just keeps going.
Yeah.
But for me, like, I mean, that's where I first remember Selwa, is in dance class. Yeah. And, CF isn't a big thing. Like, I mean,
we had no idea.
We had
back
no
then.
idea.
As
I mean,
children,
it's
we
just
had no
like-
idea.
that's one thing that her parents have just done a remarkable job of just raising someone who is normal. You know what I mean? And doesn't focus on their condition.
Well, it even just when you're talking about kids, but like Ash and I, and we'd all go on vacation together, and Ash would be like, "Hey, I need to pump. Why don't you do your lung treatment?" So we would go
We
up
do it together. And I was the best clapper, I will say.
Yeah.
Ash,
I mean, I am a very good clapper.
Also, you
But it
did
was
the
also
treatment.
fun because I could get all my frustration out on her too. So I'd always laugh that I'm like
I just
beating
yelled
her,
at her.
and
I
I'm
just yelled.
Yeah. So she'd be pumping, and because I couldn't breathe, like we'd be down at the beach, and I'd be like, "I gotta do a treatment," and she's like, "Well, I gotta pump. Let's go." And then so she would just be doing.
I
my
was
treatment.
pregnant a long time.
Yeah, you were pregnant a lot.
You
I
and
mean,
yeah,
me.
so was
pregnant
Brittany.
and pumping and
How many children you have?
I have 4 and Brittany
Oh,
has 4.
4.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, so I think we just, as I got sicker, we adjusted, and they just accepted me for who I am and knew what they needed to do, and they would step up. Think about all the times in the hospital when we were like in 7th grade. We have funny stories about that. Oh yeah, sorry. Courtney is our historian.
She is the historian of the group.
But Casey,
That is
remember,
true.
I'd be in the hospital, and the respiratory therapist would be clapping my back, and y'all would, I call us kids because we were kids back then, but us as kids would make posters for me. and inappropriate posters, by the way.
And like, why did we make that in 9th grade?
Because it was funny to
Because
us.
it's funny.
It was like an inside
But
joke.
yeah.
And it was something to
We're
cheer
not
you
even
up.
talk, but
And
We didn't
it's
think about the
humor.
fact that
It was.
other
Like,
people were
humor
going to
was.
see it.
Yeah, humor
we
gets
laugh.
you through
We
life.
got in
Yeah.
so much trouble
Yeah.
in the hospitals, like
we
because
spent
we
the
would
night.
be,
We had a slumber party and got in
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They would
it
not
was-
let that happen today.
Yeah.
Probably.
So
No.
like they were,
No.
the respiratory therapist was clapping my back, and she would read read the posters. One of them was like, what was it? Which
I'm
one
not
is a
gonna say
sexual
it.
position? We were like in 9th grade. I don't think
This
I
is
didn't
on
know what
record,
it.
Selwa. This is on record.
I didn't
But
know
I
what
And we
think
were in
it-
9th grade.
It does show that like part of how you get through it is just by making her
Laughing.
laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However you can make
do
her
it.
laugh.
Yeah.
In the most,
We try to
Yeah.
get her to that point to where she's like really laughing, but it's not going to kick her into the deep
Yeah.
cough level
Yeah.
to where she goes
there's
quiet.
a fine line.
Yeah, there's a fine line.
Yeah, the grandma laugh.
Of how
like,
far
I'm
you
just
take
like,
it.
But Court, you had a different experience. You knew her.
I knew her. We went to school together since we were 5, and our parents live still to this day 3 streets away. So I found
I took
out
you to
at your
school.
shaving cream party. Remember?
A shaving cream party.
Did have a shaving cream.
Yeah.
That was my dad's idea. He was so proud of that idea.
I can't even remember, but we had a shaving cream fight in your backyard.
Yeah, and when I probably had to do a treatment that night because we had a
No,
slumber party.
Remember,
Oh,
we
you
wanted
know
to
better.
watch the movie Alex, the Life of a Child, and your mom wouldn't let us. I
Oh,
remember it.
was that because it was about CF?
It was.
That
No
sounds like
way.
Then
something my
Phil
mom-
told us about it.
Yeah,
So, I can't even remember what grade it was. Second
yeah, probably.
grade, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow.
And but then we would remember when I would take you to school.
And
like,
she was
high
my ride to school, and we got pulled over on the first day of our sophomore year.
school. Leave it to me.
You were driving.
I was
She was.
because I got
Because she got a hardship, and
Yeah.
when we got her hardship, her car died at the McDonald's on Brown Trail.
Wayne.
And everyone saw
Wayne.
it.
Had the worst.
the one.
Yeah, those cars were. But yeah, I mean,
We have many
I can't
memories.
believe your parents like I was 15 driving us
I
around.
know.
And but I could hardship is basically so I was like, oh, I need my car so I can go home and do treatments, which is true. But I also was like 15 and driving a car, so we were.
I don't
we
think
were
you
all
ever
about
left
it,
school to
too.
I
go
think
do
we
a
kind of
treatment,
made her get the
FYI.
We
hardship.
did. Someone
Oh,
didn't really even
probably.
want to
Because we
were
wanted
like,
to all
"You're
have a
We wanted a
driver."
car.
So I was only supposed
No,
to graduate
because y'all,
school
she
and
never
back.
left school one time to
not
go do a
even
treatment.
once because
Not
of
even once.
CF,
Yeah, I
but
used
we
to-
were like, you're for sure getting the hardship.
We
Let's
used
go.
it to like drive around late at night when I wasn't even supposed to, and we got pulled
Or on Saturday
Remember the time we got pulled over?
when your grandma was home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There's a lot of stories.
And you lied to the cop.
Okay. Maybe
Or
we took
not.
advantage of the hardship.
Well, I think it is a good example.
You lied to the cop 3 times.
She never asks for anything. Like, she could have had,
She never asked for special treatment.
parking.
Yeah.
Or, there's so many things.
Yeah, I
But
didn't wanna-
She didn't want that, and that's partly why your mindset's so strong.
Well, yeah,
I
y'all
think.
got mad at me because I was like, I can have a handicap parking spot at school. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
I
That is,
know.
street, that's stupid. I can walk. And they were like, no, dude, do it. Like, get the handicap
Like,
parking
take
spot.
advantage.
Especially since you were taking me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So dance, school.
College.
Oh, this is the best.
So yeah, so
This is a great
So let me
story.
back
This is a great
up.
story.
The four
Great
of us
story.
were inseparable. These 4,
Yes.
like starting in probably
7th
8th grade.
Junior high.
Is that what you said?
Dance.
Dance.
Dance. School.
Uh-huh.
And they were inseparable.
I mean,
and then
And then
And
you went
y'all
to
said-
college.
So
Now let
I-
Selwa tell this
Oh,
story.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
a
you all
great
went
one.
to the same college.
I did
but
not.
I went.
You
I
did
went,
not. But she was there
Well,
every
basically, it
weekend.
was like,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
But so I went early to
Challenge
Baylor.
program.
Yeah, we were in the challenge program. But it was by myself. I went to college, and that first day, right? It wasn't the first day. I see this tall, gorgeous blonde. Because she's like, what are you, like 5'10"?
Oh, I shrunk.
This skinny, this skinny legs.
And you don't
And
wear heels.
Legs
anymore.
for days.
We had to go to some meeting in the dorm, and I was like, "Do you want to go with me?" And you were just like, "Yeah." And then literally did not separate from that day on.
No.
Brittany
Like,
moved
literally.
out of her dorm. room.
I
And-
did. I
and-
left the girl and moved down with Selwa because she had an extra bed.
So from the first day.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just God knew exactly. Well, and I love this too is that your mom was praying for you to have
Mhm.
really good friends, like
Mhm.
in college. She was like, "That was and your mom. I love your mom," and she was just. And I really believe she prayed for you and us to find each other
Mhm.
because I needed you so badly because this was my first time without my safety net of people who knew who who I was and what disease I had. I mean, I had that huge treatment, remember? I mean, I'm sure you were just like, what? But you were just like, okay, let's do your treatment. And I mean, you were just so loving and we were just inseparable. I mean, literally every day we were together. I mean,
attached.
Yeah, like to the point where you're like, I'm in this art class for 4 hours. And I was like, ew, let's cancel that because we got to lay out that
that was
time.
prime tanning time. And it interfered with my academics, you know. So
we like to the point where and then so it was my birthday, right? June 4th.
Yeah,
Brittany
we
could
were
probably
a
tell
little
that
bit
story.
unsure back at the home fest.
Well, we've never had a new friend.
Because we were like,
was
wait,
taking
we have
care
a
of
new
Selwa.
friend?
We
We're like, older
Right.
too. Like,
And so it was like, you guys are going to love her.
We're like, do we like anybody else
Yeah.
besides us?
now knowing y'all, I'm so surprised. Like, it was the map dress. It just stole.
Totally.
It
I mean,
stole-
the gorgeous blonde in the map dress. And so I remember, and I was like late, and Courtney was pissed at me. She was like, because I was like my birthday, but she was like, where were you? We've been in the parking lot, like waiting for
We
you.
were going to Austin.
I had no idea.
Yes.
we were there.
picking them up.
I drove her there.
We were
Yeah.
picking them up in Waco.
Yeah.
And then
I had to drive her back in the middle of the early that morning because we couldn't miss class.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then we were a mess
I don't
on
remember what we
Austin.
did.
But
Well,
as
we
soon
went
as we met
6th Street,
Brittany,
and
Yeah, we meet her in the parking lot. We see her and we're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. I was too busy yelling at Selwa. And Brittany's probably like, who is this girl?
yeah. And then again, I mean, it was just God knew who I needed in my life to keep me alive, and it's this.
So
Right here.
was there ever any jealousy issues or?
No, I mean,
No.
we're also
did you ever not
different.
talk?
Did you
yeah.
ever not?
we're
Ever
so
not talk?
different.
I don't
No,
think I would
we've
never
never-
talked to
We're
them.
also different that, like, for me at college, Brittany was the tall blonde and I was the short brunette, and we just were. And
You
so
were the
I mean,
exotic one.
Well,
remember?
We already talked
We talked about that.
yeah, the naked zebra.
Hey,
But no, yeah, we just, again, it was just something, I think, I don't know, maybe when we're dealing with what I deal with every day, you kind of like the little things just, they were just happy to keep me alive, I think.
but I don't think we lived like that
we
in
didn't
high school.
think about it like that
or in
back then
college.
at all.
I mean, I never thought
At
like,
all.
oh, I'm keeping
Those
you
were
alive.
still like carefree
Yeah.
days, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that started till way later.
like after babies. And
Even
like,
after baby.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe when you were pregnant with
Yeah.
Bella is when it kind of all.
Well, I think the first time, which probably you haven't even talked about,
oh, was the
is
freshman
like
year.
completely not related to CF. And I don't know if you want me to share it or
Oh,
not.
right. I forgot
But
about
I mean,
that.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
she had a crazy, just random situation where she had this tumor that they found that was the side of the basketball.
Yeah, the
What?
scar.
And all of a sudden she like
She was-
barely
She was
walked.
so exhausted.
She was so exhausted all the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's because there was this huge tumor taking all her
Sucking
blood.
all her blood.
So she literally had to go into surgery. I'll never forget. It was spring
Yeah,
break.
it was spring
our
break. Y'all were out of
Sophomore
town.
year.
sophomore year.
Uh-huh.
College.
Yeah, in
we were in
college.
college, and
I was gonna call the
was-
helicopter in. Like,
yeah,
she
it
was.
was sad. They had to cut her open exploratory.
Yeah.
They had no idea.
They
what
had
they'd
no
find.
idea. I was there. I
Yeah.
had food poisoning.
And that was the first time that I think you actually saw like Jesus, like you know what I mean, in the room with you,
Mhm.
you know. And I think that was a pivotal part for my faith because we were already faithful,
Mhm.
but like to experience that at such a young age.
Tell me about that.
So I basically died
Mm.
on the table.
What?
For the
From the
first time.
tumor.
From
that
the
was
yeah,
not
from
CF.
and that was why it was
Bleeding.
so hard to diagnose because I am used to fighting hard to be me, right? So I didn't have any energy. I was so anemic. I was like pale.
Mhm.
Remember that time, Amy?
Yeah,
I was
I found her in the stairs, and I was like, "Are you all right? Where
Yeah.
are you going? Are you going to class?" And I was like,
this is at college.
let's sit down right here," because I
Mhm.
seriously thought she was going to faint on the spot.
Well, I had all those accounting books, and I was like hauling my butt to class, not knowing that I was physically dying, like inside.
Did you
Um,
feel it ever, or did you?
Yeah, well, people would hug me, and it would hurt, and I didn't. I thought it was just my lungs. Like I thought everything was CF,
Yeah.
and I thought my lungs were just hurting or swollen or inflamed, but it was because all my organs were being pushed out. I mean, this is like a whole nother story, but I did, like Ashley said, it did prepare me to use my faith to fight because I was like, what is this? To the point where it was during spring break. So I went into the hospital and then they accidentally
Found
found
it.
how they saw the flow of the blood going into something. And they were like, something's going on. Well, so then Dr. Votler, who saved my life, doctors are awesome, by the way. I'm like, but Dr. Votler was like, look, I don't know what's wrong with you. I can't figure it out. I can send you back to school and we'll just, and I was like, Go, something is wrong with me. You're going to fix me. I don't know what it is. He's like, okay, well then, because he basically had to tell my mom to leave, like,
Yes,
to not
she was
say-
going.
Well, because
Yeah.
like I had to make the decision with surgery
Yeah.
because basically he was going to cut me open and I was either
And by
gonna
that point,
die.
you're 18, so you
Yeah.
can make your decisions at that
Oh
point,
my
which I'm
gosh.
sure was
Well,
incredibly
and she
hard
was
for
very
Nabila.
emotional.
Oh yeah.
Well, and well, she had to take. He didn't want my mom to have the burden of making this decision
Right.
because
Yeah.
if I did die, it would. And again, she was like, "This is her decision." So I was like, 18. I don't know where I got the strength. I mean, I do know where I got it, but I just knew something had to change because I couldn't live like this.
Right.
And so yeah, I was like, "Nope, you're gonna take me in there, figure it out." He cut me open. It literally came, like he said, it just flew out, and it was. It flew out. He had to like sew me back together. He thinks he still to this day laughs like, well, that he sewed me back wrong, you know. But anyways, yeah. And so yeah, he was just like, I just kind of put you back together. I died on the table, like brought me back. But we had a class together in college. What was it, Mike?
It was microeconomics.
And so
Oh.
since it was during spring break, I was able to miss only a week of that and then another week of school. And so I was like, I still got like a 3.75 that.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
came back and
Yeah.
killed it
Yeah.
in school.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I have no excuse.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I had like a 0.9, and I was like,
Yeah.
you know what? This has got to change.
Yeah.
You know?
It was just, again, it's like, I mean, like for me now, I look back, I'm like, dude, who cares about school? But that was like, I was like, Ashley, okay.
That was her
Like-
goal, and she was going to
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah, I was like,
and she
what
just
do I need?
went right back to being normal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Just
mean?
had
And
to-
just living like that didn't happen.
Tell me about your faith experience in that.
Well, I think that was when I really learned how to lean on my faith. I knew I always had faith in Jesus as my savior, and I knew that, right? But I never had felt it. And I do believe like faith is a choice, right? And you can, but I mean, it's not always a feeling, right? So every day you wake up and you choose to have faith, and not every day do you feel him, and not every day. So to me, you have to choose to have faith. But sometimes you can feel him. And during my worst times, when I'm my sickest, is when I feel him all day long. And it's the most beautiful thing. And to the point where I've told Ashley before that when I am healthy, I miss him because I don't lean on my faith as much and I don't feel him because I am so focused on life and doing my thing that when I'm sick is when I feel him. And anyways, and so that really put me in, really felt my faith during those times when I am sick.
So for you guys, that's your first like knowledge. Okay, whoa.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
the closest
the
like death. That was our first death experience.
But I still think we weren't
know.
even. We were still young.
But even then, at that time,
Yeah.
it was more like,
Oh,
well,
well,
that
look,
wasn't even the CS.
that wasn't even
right?
CS. Like it wasn't.
We snipped that out, and she's good to go now. Especially
Right.
because she kicked right back.
She kicked
into
right back.
turbo.
I mean, like,
She
remember in the
is-
hospital, you were on morphine, and you said, "Let's play a joke on my mom."
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
Oh,
poor
yeah.
Nabila.
Poor Nabila.
And
Oh.
so, like, her mom's
Nabila,
going to
thank
get
you for
out of the
loving us still.
elevator, and she's like, "I'm gonna lay on the ground, and when she gets out,
Oh,
act like
gosh.
something's wrong
I'm
with
18.
me."
I can't
I'm pretty
And so I'm like, okay, why not?
She's like, Selwa.
Selwa, and she
Shove you,
started-
go.
Yeah,
But I was
shove you.
really high on morphine. That's not my
Yeah.
fault. And I was
Right.
18.
She was, but I'm
But-
saying so. Still, we were
Yeah.
very young
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
18,
Yeah.
and so I don't know if even after that,
Yeah.
that we were like, oh, she could get really sick.
But yeah, I mean,
again.
I remember I needed to be on morphine. I was in a lot of pain. Like to have
You
your
were-
organs, my organs had been literally had to go back together.
And you're tiny.
And
Mhm.
yeah, it
That's-
was just, that was a whole crazy. I'm not.
I
it's
guess
kinda
for
funny, I
me,
forget about
that was the first time I remember you being like, I felt God. Like I saw, I
Yes.
mean, and he is
Yes.
the only way I made it through that.
through.
You
Agreed.
know, and I think for me, like just that was like a really big faith moment for me. You know, my faith grew through her faith growing, as well. But no, we didn't. Stella was just
I mean,
out
'cause
there
we still
having
were-
fun. And
yeah.
I mean, she was an accountant. She worked all those crazy 80-hour weeks with Arthur. Was it Arthur Anderson?
Yeah, I mean, I can remember being like on the job site and like in the bathroom spitting up blood. And yeah, because like and then I would, come back and just like, there'd be like blood on my shirt and just still be, working away. And then when I finally slowed down and like, is when I got pregnant. That's when I really was like, okay, I can't work anymore. I really have to focus on my body, and I can't push the limits like I've been pushing with work. And I was okay with that. Like, I was proud of myself. I got my college degree. They said I shouldn't do that. I started working, I wrote crazy hours at Arthur Andersen as an accountant. Shouldn't have probably done that. Got pregnant. Probably shouldn't have done that. But to me, again, like I always say, that I want to live the life that I would live no matter what, if I had CF or not. And I can honestly say, when I look at everything I've done in my life, CF never got in the way. And now has it held me back some, and like yes, have I had to climb lots of mountains to get to where I am, but I'm okay because I am strong.
He's strong.
Well,
So strong.
Again,
So what did all of you think about Scott when this came in the picture?
I mean, first of all, like
We love Scott.
we
Mad
love
respect
Scott
for
more than
Scott.
anything.
More than
And
anything.
Scotty
He's
Toddy.
an amazing.
I mean, we have so many
Scotty.
nicknames for Scott,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
you're
know.
talking about how they're the like best looking couple, or whoever was saying that. Well, in the
Everyone in the hospitals always say that,
they
too.
called him
Yeah.
Barbie and Barbie and Mountain Ken.
Mountain because he had the beard.
He had
right?
the
Yeah, he had a beard because I mean,
You probably hadn't shaved in a while. because
No.
it was-
Yeah.
we love Scott. I think when Scott first, we're very protective.
I was just gonna say,
We're
I'm sure
very
you're protective. Yeah.
And I think we could say it of all our husbands. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
or all of our boyfriends
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
went through,
Oh, gosh.
or all
Yeah.
of,
Oh, gosh.
I mean, yeah, we're very protective. And actually, it was probably a line that we had to learn. I even remember with Jason, like,
was a
Jason
growth
being
moment.
like,
Yeah.
listen, now
I'm in.
your person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I know.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah.
There were a
I
few
mean,
incidents
it's
where
different.
they even
Right.
our husbands would be like,
wait,
Hey.
I'm in.
Like,
I'm
you married
not in
me.
charge.
But-
I don't want. But like, I determine what
certain things.
certain things.
And so there was probably some struggles with each of the husbands when that
Right.
happened, just to get that balance, because we were so much
We were a force.
every
know,
our
And very
person.
protective,
Yeah,
But-
of all of us.
Yeah,
Of
everybody.
everyone.
Even Jason at your wedding, Jason was like, I know I married Ashley, but I did also marry. He was like,
That's
So
true.
he
Jason,
acknowledged,
well,
like-
and same with Brandon. I mean, like, Jason and Brandon and Patrick. I mean, they were all there while we were in college, and and experienced, all.
Well,
of
y'all
that,
got married
so.
younger.
Yeah.
We
than
did. Yeah.
the
So.
rest of us.
Yeah. So I mean, we loved Scott from the
So,
beginning.
How
but
we
of
met
course, we were
Scott, I
protective.
guess. Is,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
don't
was, when we first met Scott, we were really taken back by how strong he was, and we knew that you needed that in your life. Somebody that's going to advocate for you and like go to the balls of the wall, and he's done that. He's really just been your perfect partner.
Exactly.
I mean, God totally created y'all two together,
For sure.
I think he's taught me so much
Mhm.
too.
Yes.
Just being in the hospital and watching him
From the advocate
Yes.
perspective.
from a patient advocacy perspective, and like, it's helped me in my life when caring for my dad or caring for
Right.
that
Wow,
you don't
that's
just
interesting.
You don't just take.
you
the
don't
word.
just take the word of. I mean, we love doctors, but they're humans
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yes.
like, they're that we always have to be advocating.
Yeah.
And
Well, you know what your loved one needs.
Mhm.
And that's how Scott felt. And the part where